Hello YouTube, this is Amy's Bro, and this is the final video of the 7th anniversary recap that we are doing. Now, just to let you all know, all the videos that are being made for the 7th anniversary recap will be put into a playlist, and you can you can watch them all. Also, all the stuff that I discuss will be from the 7th anniversary special save, which is up. So if you want to look through everything, you can. Also on the Broccoli .co.jp site, there's information that wasn't on the 7th anniversary that you can go check out. So all the stuff that I'm telling you now came from those sources. Okay? Now then, this is the final story, and it is a big one. So I'm going to sort of give you a bit of backstory, but we have to go back to last year. So last year, if you'll recall, there was some noise made about a game which was called Dolce Vita, right? It was the last year before that when it was actually originally announced, and they even made more noise about it at 6th anniversary. Okay. Well, all we knew was the story was about 11 idols. It was supposed to be a brand new story. Now, a lot of people also thought, well, wait a minute. Could the game basically be the closure on Star's story, because it seemed like it was supposed to be taking place after All-Star After Secret, because All-Star After Secret has this thing with marriage, so you're thinking you're dealing with, you know, honeymoons and stuff. Well, that would be the thinking, except the one thing that was mentioned was it was going to be dealing with a completely brand new story. This does get reinforced when we get to this year, as we fast forward to this past Saturday. At 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time here in the States, stories 5 and 6, or presents 5 and 6, were given to the UtaPri fandom. Now 5 was a logbook. Okay, fine. Cool. However, it was number 6 that was the most interesting. They announced more information about Prince-Sama Dolce Vita. Okay? Now I'm going to read to you first the way this goes. So here we go. Concept. Prince-Sama. It's the first love simulation game of the series. For those who don't know, this is effectively going to be almost like the way, if I've read it right, like the way a certain game called La Corredora was originally conceived. Because if you actually played the PSP game back in the day, you had it where you walked around the campus and you interacted with certain people, and in order to get to the point where you were dating a certain boy, you had to fulfill certain stat requirements. This happened. It was a thing. Well, I also looked it up, and one thing that it mentioned was that these types of games, these dating simulation games, they are sometimes erroneously mentioned and put in the same category as a visual novel. These involve sometimes stat raising, affinity with certain characters, yada yada yada, and also time limits. So these are different than say a standard visual novel, like a game like maybe, oh, I don't know, Code Realize, Nor 9, you know, Clock Zero, Amnesia. This is a completely different. Even the original UtaPri series, This is a completely different animal, completely different game. So okay, so there's that to think about. Let's keep going now. A story of love and ties that are nurtured through the growth of the hero as a composer and communication with idols. A sweet and enjoyable life begins to be spun with music. Now, they do show in the background what looks like a newly constructed academy. Okay, no biggie, right? Let's keep going now. So, character-wise, they have your standard characters. You know, you have your starish characters. You know, but what's interesting is when you look, like, obviously it's because of translation. But you have Atoki Atoya, you know, Masato Hijifukawa, Natsuki Shinomiya, Ishino's Tokiya, Januji Rin, Kurosu Sho, Cecil Ojima. You also have, of course, your Quartet Night boys, and you also have the 2 instructors from the school, and they would be, of course, the Ryuga Sensei and also Ringo Sukamaya. However, what does broccoli do? Do you remember when I mentioned in the previous video about the new ground? Well, the new ground may very well be a versus set with a group that we've come to know since Season 2 of Reason of Prince-Sama. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the game series now, Heavens has been formally introduced. You heard me. Check this out. Because if we go through Ichi Otori, Kara Sumiyagi, Nagi Mikado, Ichi Otori, Karyon Van, Yamato Hyuga, Shion Amakusa, and there's an other. I'm guessing the other will be none other than Raging. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because this is the first time that Heavens will be included into the game world. So what does this mean for UtaPri? Well, a very, 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 very intriguing story here. This is, without question, a very important time. Remember that we had the 4th season, and remember I said, to a degree, I felt that was going to be a transition season. Do you remember I also said, however, that when we were getting closer to the end of the ports, because now we're getting to the halfway point of those, what would they do for Dolce Vita, and what would they do for Heavens? One thing I said was maybe they would introduce them into Dolce Vita, and they would do them like they would do Quartet Night originally. If you remember, Quartet Night was not originally dateable until you got to All-Star in the original game canon. Now, because they're saying that this is a brand new story, what, are we just going to have all 18 from the jump? Or are they going to make it where Heavens and Starish and Quartet Night are going to 2 different schools, i.e. Starish and Quartet Night are going to Shinings, meanwhile Raging has his school with his 7. Are they going to do that? Or are they going to do it where, if for those of you who played More Blood, once you complete a route with a Sakamaki, you can go to the Mukami house and then start dating one of them if you so chose to. You know, there's a lot of ways they can do this now. What are they going to do when it comes to Dolce Vita? I almost said Shining Life. And this is interesting also that they're now putting them in this game, because now what are you going to do with Shining Life eventually, especially considering that's getting an English version? Are they going to eventually get DLC, special content for the Shining Life game? Are they going to get their own separate game? What's going to happen? There's a lot of things that are to be thought about here, especially now with the new ground of the Shining Theaters. This is a story that when it broke, I did not think it was going to cause a lot of ramifications. But remember, after this story came the story about the drama CDs, and that's when they talked about the new ground. That's when I thought about Heavens, because with Heavens now in the gameverse, a lot of things can happen. They can be included even more in the stages now. They can be done a bit more in depth in, say, the movie or the anime. They can be done. They can do so many wondrous things now with them. And this is something I have been screaming about. Literally screaming. When I saw they were being introduced almost 24 hours ago now. Literally, 2 a.m. was when I read this yesterday. I screamed. Because these are my boys. This is Heavens. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting Broccoli to say, you know what? We're going to put them in UtaPri officially now. We're going to give all the fans that support them, both in Japan and around the world, we're going to give them Heavens in the new story, and we're going to see how people take to them now. The only thing to make this better is if they had all of a sudden say, oh, by the way, Dolce Vita, since we're doing a brand new story, yeah, that'll be the first game that gets an English translation. Only thing to make it better. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But it'd be so nice. So nice. I am thrilled. I am floored. I am elated. I am ecstatic. I am all these positive emotions in my body. That I went and wrote a brief story for Tumblr, which I will actually put a link in the description down here. And I now must ask you, my dear friends, this being the final story that we are discussing for 7th anniversary, how are you feeling about it? Are you excited that Heavens is finally going to be put in the spotlight a little bit for Dolce Vita, or do you kind of wish Broccoli would have left them alone? I know how I feel, and I'm elated, I'm ecstatic, I am so happy. But I want to know about you. Let me know in the comments. And this is the final video. And of course the final video gets to be longest. So let me know all your thoughts, all your feelings, and all your emotions. Because friends, this was the 7th anniversary. And it may not be the last one for Heavens. Because now they're in the gameverse. They're in the anime. They've been in the animeverse since season 2. They're in the gameverse. Where do we go from here? Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. Let me know what you think about all the stories. And I will talk to you later, friends. Do me a favor. Take care of yourselves. And talk to you down the line. Bye-bye.